Loaded show on this edition of Seahawks Today. We'll talk about an extension for Leonard Williams. Also, Pete Carroll has come out defending his quarterback, Geno Smith. We'll get to his comments. Also, later on, Jarran Reed has spoken out with reaction to the Seahawks' loss to the Baltimore Ravens. We'll go over all that and more coming up in a matter of moments here on this edition of Seahawks Today. Yesterday, not going to lie, was pretty brutal, but we are onward and upward from here, folks. Look, we ride or die with the Hawks. Win or lose, we booze with the Hawks, folks. Here's what I want you to do. If you're a ride or die with the Hawks, spam 12 in the comments section. I want to see as many 12s as we can. Show some support for our beloved Seahawks, and we'll get started with today's show. So there was a belief by many that when Leonard Williams got traded to Seattle that there would be an extension done pretty quickly to keep him with the Seahawks long term. But in the words of the great Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. According to a new report from ESPN's Adam Schefter, that is not happening right now. Here's more from Schefter. ESPN Seahawks defensive lineman Leonard Williams, who arrived in Seattle earlier this week in a trade from the New York Giants, is not expected to sign an extension during the season. A league source told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Now, don't panic. He isn't going anywhere, folks. This is not a rental situation here. This is a strategy play by John Schneider and Pete Carroll. Let me explain what we're talking about here. Right now, Leonard Williams, his current contract is 3 years and $63 million. That's about $21 million per. The Seahawks, though, are only paying him $647,000 of that this season. $10 million is being paid for by the Giants this year. Then you look ahead to next offseason, we see the value of Leonard Williams go down quite a bit from what he's making right now, as Spotrac is projecting him around a 3-year, $44 million deal, which takes him from about $21 million per year to a little bit less than $15 million per year. Now, here's what I mean as far as what Schneider and what Carroll are looking at here. I highly doubt the market's going to increase between now and free agency on Leonard Williams. And so what John Schneider and Pete Carroll are doing is they are letting this season play out, see how well Leonard Williams performs, and then give him a contract when we get to the open market and how he compares with other guys. They are hedging their bets that they can get him less than what he's worth right now. And honestly, I think it makes a lot of sense. And they're saying all the right things. This isn't a knock on Leonard Williams. This is all just a strategy play. In fact, John Schneider over the weekend had an interview with the Seattle Seahawks radio network and said this about the Leonard Williams situation. They kind of wanted to see where we're heading, and we were just very excited to acquire somebody of Leonard's talents. I mean, this guy, he's a very, very talented guy, great cultural fit for us as well. I'm excited to get him on today, referring to yesterday's game. He looks great in the uniform. We're excited. Yesterday, we saw him play about 54% of the team's snaps, had about 2 tackles. I would expect his workload to increase over the coming weeks and to see him play a significant role. We even found out the Seahawks tried to trade for Leonard Williams last year. So although there might not be an extension tomorrow, you better believe he's going to be in Seattle a long time. They're just playing their strategy play of getting the best deal they can of pushing this later on. So what do you guys think? Do you like this move by John Schneider and Pete Carroll to not prioritize the extension right now on Leonard Williams? Should they extend it right now? It's our pinned comment today. Why for yes and for no? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Pete Carroll has took to the defense of his quarterback, Geno Smith, after Geno struggled in yesterday's loss to the Baltimore Ravens. It was the 4th game in a row where Geno Smith did not play well, but he has the full support of Pete Carroll, as Carroll had this to say. I don't think this is about Geno at all. I think this is about our football team did not answer the ball here. We couldn't get it done. We came in here to slug it out, and they did a better job than we did, all of us, when they're rushing the passer. That's not Geno. That's not a one-guy deal. We'll explain more and show you some of these statistics on Geno and break down yesterday's performance in a moment. But first, let's tell you about today's sponsor, as we are presented by Game Time. Game Time, the place to go for last-minute tickets for the lowest prices and the best seats guaranteed. Here's the deal, folks. This weekend, yours truly, I am headed to the great city of Lawrence, Kansas, home of the Kansas Jayhawks, and I'm going to go see my Jayhawks take on Manhattan in basketball, and then we got a football game Saturday against Texas Tech, and you better believe I'm using Game Time so I can save on these tickets. That way I can see what my seat is going to look like, and so I can get the lowest prices so I can enjoy a great time in Fog Allen Fieldhouse and get tickets to the best events around. Here's what Game Time's got for you. Not only just sporting events, but concerts, theater productions, comedy shows. It's very easy to use. You get the views from the seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. You're a winner if you're buying with Game Time. So start winning today with Game Time. You get $20 off. Use the promo code Seahawks Chat. Free money for you. Sign up today. Download Game Time. $20 off. Promo code Seahawks Chat. You'll be glad you did. All right, let's shift gears now and continue on Geno Smith and his rough day yesterday. Let's go by the numbers. It was not pretty, folks, as Geno completed just 46% of his passes. He was held to 157 total passing yards. Not great. He was also sacked 4 times. The offensive line did not do him any favors yesterday. Threw an interception as well. Also had a fumble that was ultimately recovered by Baltimore. So that was 2 turnovers by Geno Smith. And then the worst stat of all, hide the women and children on this one, folks. Geno had the lowest QBR that he's ever had since starting for the Seattle Seahawks, including those games that he filled in for Russell Wilson a couple of years ago. His QBR was 14.4. I think his QBR, from what producer Coop was telling me, would have been higher if he would have just spiked the ball every play. That's how bad it was. But even with that said, I'm not hitting the panic button yet. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't concerned about the turnover issues. To me, that's the biggest thing here. We've seen Geno play at a high level. We've seen him win football games where he put the team on his back and came through for the Seahawks team before. We have seen this time and time again. So I believe he can come out of this and get back to the Geno that we all know and love. But with that said, those turnovers to me are the problem that I am just sitting here not feeling comfortable with. Think about this. Here's what I'm talking about as far as turnovers go. In the past 4 games, Geno's committed 8 turnovers, including 2 against Baltimore here. Got to cut back on the turnovers. To me, that's the biggest issue. My biggest concern with Geno Smith is taking care of the football at this point. And Pete Carroll, more on Geno, had this to say. As far as the turnovers go, he agrees with me. I'm concerned. The one on the fumble, that's a pass rush deal. The interception, he threw it up, and the guy that's been making the interceptions and made another one, referring to Geno Stone. But that's not the direction for us to be going. Up until this game, it took us to first place. Whatever the heck we've been doing, and we didn't play like a first-place team today with those kind of turnovers, it's really hard to win. Now, some of you are going to be screaming in my comment section saying you want to see Drew Lock. And I'm telling you this right now. Don't expect to be seeing Drew Lock. Because yesterday, when the game was decided before the fourth quarter even started, we still never saw Drew Lock yesterday. So if we weren't going to see Drew Lock yesterday in garbage time when Geno wasn't playing well, I don't think that they're going to be making a change anytime soon. So whether you may want Drew Lock to get a shot or not, it's probably going to take an injury or something for that to become the case. Everybody, the Seahawks staff, everybody is all in still on Geno as the quarterback for this team, and I can't blame them. I'm still ride or die with Geno. What do you guys think? What quarterback would you want to start right now? What QB would you believe in? Is it Geno or is it Drew? Type G for Geno, type D for Drew Lock. I want to see all the G's for Geno. Get in that comment section. Let us know what you think. Folks, we are on the verge of 44,000 subscribers here on Seahawks Today. We are less than 200 away from reaching that next milestone. Despite the loss, we had a heck of a time on our watch party yesterday. We got watch parties all season long. Got our live shows on Wednesdays, daily news and rumors segments. Sub now for free. Doesn't cost you a thing. For the latest happenings in your Seattle Seahawks, subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Last but not least, here on today's show, we turn our attention to the trenches, where the Seahawks were dominated yesterday, and so much so that Jarran Reed spoke out about the disappointing performance in the 37-3 defeat. This is what he had to say afterwards. It's very frustrating. That's not like us. That's not anything we've put on film all season, but it's the NFL. We're going to take it to the chin, get right back Monday, get right back to the drawing board. I think it's just stuff where we beat ourselves, not fitting in the gaps the right way, staying on the backside of plays, staying on the front side of plays, things we can't beat ourselves. We got to hone in on that. Look, if yesterday was not a wake-up call, I don't know what is. That should have gotten this team's attention. And I'll say this, the silver lining of sorts, as this team moves forward from here, is we need to see more Leonard Williams. We mentioned earlier he played about half the snaps. I expect that number to increase. And when you look at these statistics courtesy of PFF, the nerd numbers, they ain't good from what we saw yesterday. Leonard Williams was your highest-rated defensive lineman, only played half the snaps and was by far the highest-graded D lineman, 69.1. Draymond Jones was at 27.8. Cam Young was below 40. Jarran Reed at 40.5. That ain't going to fly. You ain't going to win football games like that if you're getting bullied around, if your hog mollies aren't doing their job up front. Seahawks are going to do a better job at that. There's a lot of blame to go around, pointing to whether it was Geno Smith or the offensive line who struggled in that end. Defensive line didn't look great. Who is the most to blame for the Seahawks' loss? Play the blame game. Let us know in the comments section what person or what group you think it was yesterday. As always, you can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Tyler Jones Live. Follow me there, and I'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today. Thanks for joining us.